Okay. So, so when we speak of desire for name and fame, we, uh, yeah. So when we speak of desire for name and fame, we have to go deep into uh, the structure from where the desire comes. So there are 9 stages of bhakti, which starts from Shraddha, which means faith, then Sadhu Sangha, association with devotees, then Bhajana Kriya, performance of devotional service, then Anartha Nivriti, decreasing of unwanted attachments, then Nishtha, steadiness, then Ruchi, taste, then Asakti, attachment, then Bhava, love, then Prema, pure love for Krishna. When we speak for desire for name and fame, we have to look deep into the fourth stage, that is called the Bhajana Kriya stage, where there are two types of Bhajana Kriya. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his Madhurya Kadamini, he gives us more details about it. So, when we say Bhajana Kriya, it means that we start practicing our devotional service. We first come, and then it starts with our faith, and we gradually rise to the platform of bhajana kriya. We start doing our bhajan means we start performing our devotional activities, devotional services. Now that bhajana kriya has 2 stages, which is called nishtita bhajana kriya and anishtita bhajana kriya. Nishtita means steady. There is no disturbance in that bhajana kriya. It goes on a steady level. But anishtita bhajana kriya is not steady, and there are 6 kinds of anishtita bhajana kriya. Amongst those 6 kinds of anishtita bhajana kriya, the sixth kind is taranga rangini. When we say taranga rangini, it means that in this stage, a devotee doing bhajana seeks pleasure or ranga arising amongst weed like facilities, which are like small waves, taranga. Hence, this stage is called Taranga Rangini. So, what happens when we start developing the plant, the creeper of Bhakti Lata, which starts from Adav Shraddha, which starts from faith? Then, what happens when we come to the level of Bhajana Kriya? There something happens which calls there is a growth of weeds. Weeds are something which are unwanted plants, and they automatically grow with the main plant, and we have to get rid of those weeds. They are not good for the health of the plant. Similarly, the weeds, that is the taranga, that is our problems, our anarthas, come up they actually grow with our bhajana. And that is why the name goes Taranga Rangini. Taranga means, the disturbances on the water. Taranga, it's called Taranga, small waves. And Ranga means pleasure. What happens when we start practicing bhajana kriya? Then there is something happens when we get into our own comfort zone, where we, like, if we are asked to give a class, then what we start thinking that I'll do this so that I can get more number of people coming to my class. I'll upload it on my social media so that I can get more number of likes, no more follows, so and so forth. So what happens? They are doing bhakti, they are doing bhajana, like we saw in the first few slides, but that bhajana is not pure. They are seeking pleasure out of that bhajana. So this is one type of anartha, which is a result of bhakti itself. This is something which comes as a result, as a consequence of doing bhakti. It's bhakti uttat, bhakti utta anartha. So What happens, this makes us have that inner desire for name and fame. We start thinking that if I am able to give the best class, or if I'm able to do something, if I'm able to make the best garland, if I'm able to make the best um, offering a bhoga, then people will appreciate me. So the shift changes from the shift changes from Krishna towards me myself, and this actually is coming because of doing bhajana. So this is a very subtle form of anartha, where people cannot see this on the surface. They think that this person is a very good devotee, but inside there is this subtle, very subtle desire, where the devotee is seeking pleasure, and this pleasure is arising amongst these weed like facilities, namely giving class, making gallons, or cooking. These are the various facilities which become weed like because they have got this inner desire for name and fame. And then what happens? We start having Taranga Rangini. We start having we start experiencing those small waves of pleasure, and we actually aspire to get more and more of this. So this is a very subtle form of anartha. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that there are four types of anarthas which are recognized according to their origins. So the first is anarthas arising from previous sin. The second is anarthas arising from previous pious activities. The third is anarthas arising from imperfectly performed bhakti. And the fourth is anarthas arising from offenses in devotional service. So that this is the third type of anartha. There is a mistake in my slide. I'm very sorry. This is the third type of anartha. Anarthas arising from imperfectly performed bhakti, where we develop, where the person develops the desire for name and fame because he is not performing his bhakti in a very good way. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says about the four types of anarthas in his Bhajana Rahasya. He says that there are four types of anarthas, namely, the first is Tattva Vibhrama, that is misconception of the truth. Then the second is Asat Trishna, desire for illusory ends. The third is Aparadha, that is offenses. And the fourth is Hriday Daurbalya. Hriday Daurbalya means weakness of the heart. And amongst the Hriday Daurbalya, there is the fourth kind where here we can see Pratisthasha. Pratisthasha means desire for name and fame. So when we develop this desire for name and fame, Pratishtha, Puja, Labh, Pratishtha, desire for name, fame, glorification, then we develop this very subtle form of anartha. And it is very difficult to get rid of anartha unless and until we recognize this. So what happens when we develop this kind of anartha, if we don't realize it, we start behaving like that. If we can see in this picture, we start behaving uh, like that donkey, like that ass who is going everywhere and people are offering him obeisances. Actually, he doesn't know that people are not offering obeisances to him, but people are offering obeisances to the picture of the Lord that is placed on his back. So this happens when we get lost, we get blinded by our um, desire for name and fame, for our desire for puja, labh, and pratishtha, and we start expecting people to give us a lot of glorification. So it's a foolishness, it's a big stupidity on one side when one starts thinking like that, like this donkey. He's thinking that, oh, I am very admirable, I'm very adorable, but actually nobody is giving him any kind of respect. So, in the same way, when one practices bhakti, when one comes into Krishna consciousness, one has to think that whatever I am doing it because of the mercy of the Guru Parampara, because of the mercy of my spiritual master. And and then everybody, if everybody offers obeisances, we have to offer them obeisances back to them. And and we have to remember that they are not offering me any kind of obeisances. They are offering obeisances to the Lord, because I am the Lord's servant. So instead of uh, taking the position of the Lord Himself, we should appreciate, we should remember that we are very fortunate to get the service of glorifying the Lord. And if people give us any kind of respect, we have to give that respect to our spiritual master. So this happened. I remember Srila Prabhupada's one of the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, when Srila Prabhupada was appreciated worldwide, and people were coming and telling him that Prabhupada, you have written Bhagavad Gita in so many languages, and you have written it so nicely. Not anyone else in before have written it so beautifully. We are able to understand. So people were appreciating Srila Prabhupada a lot. But Srila Prabhupada, he did not. He did not take the credit to his own side. He said that all credit goes to my spiritual master, which Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So immediately he transferred the whole credit to his spiritual master. So that is what we have to do. But since we are advancing in our spiritual journey, and this is a part of our growing up, we tend to develop this anartha. And and unless and until we come out of this misconception that I am doing it, we cannot get rid of this anartha. So so when we say desire for name and fame, we actually speak about our own tendency to take the position of the Lord. And this is a consequence of, uh, like we discussed in the previous slides, this is the consequence of we performing bhakti not in a very pure state. When we perform devotional service, we have to first and foremostly we have to remember the mercy of our Gurudev. We have to remember the mercy of the Guru Parampara. And so the moment we forget the mercy of the Guru Parampara, we get this problem. We get this big issue, and and then what happens? We start getting more and more a strange kind of addiction, a strange kind of um, a continuous loop of getting more and more name and fame develops, and people just get lost in their devotional life. And we can also get to understand from this another example where we here see we here see a pig over here, and the pig, it's very dirty, and the pig has come amongst the audience, and the people are actually running away from him. But what he's thinking, oh, I'm so special that people are making way for me. They are giving me such grand welcome. So he doesn't realizes that actually they just want to stay away because he's so dirty. So when we start practicing bhakti, we have to remember that initially we are not we are not so pure, and we are going into this purification process. And the moment the purification process starts, we have to just be on the process, and we have to have patience. Actually, Rupa Goswami also says in his Nectar of Instruction, uh, Utsaha Nishchayat Dhairyat. We have to have utsah. Utsah means enthusiasm. We have to have nishchay. Nishchay means determination. And we also have to have dhairya. So gradually, in due course of time, through our devotional practices, we undergo this purification, and gradually we come to the level of pure bhakti. But unless and until we don't recognize that we are uh, we are so insignificant. We cannot get out of this big problem of desiring for name and fame. And we can also learn from the pastime of Krishna killing Shankhachuda. When Krishna came and he killed all the asuras, we have to see that when killing of the asuras, it symbolizes one of the anarthas. And Shankhachuda was one of the demons which he killed. He was an associate of Lord Kuvera, and when he came, he saw Krishna and Balram and all the damsels of Raja, the gopis. He thought that, okay, I should have all the glorification. I should have all the following. And what he did, he had a Shankha jewel on his head, and he thought that he is worth name, fame, and he had that tendency of just thinking himself to be glorious, desiring to have that name and fame amongst the people. So what he did, he took away. I mean, all the gopis, they were all misled. He took away all the gopis, and then because he just wanted to take the position of the Lord himself, we can say. So after the Lord came to know about that, he went and he killed him, and he brought the jewel that was on the Shankha jewel that was on his head, and he brought and he offered it to Lord Balarama. He came back after killing the demon. So in the same way, when we have that tendency of desiring for name and fame, so what happens? We start thinking that because Krishna is amongst the six opulences of the Lord, one of them is he is all fame. So one of the six opulences of the Lord is he is the one who has to be famous. He is the one um, who is glorious. So when we start thinking that I should also have that position, or I am so glorious, I am so adorable. Actually, we are not adorable in the sense if we keep Krishna out in our life. So a devotee becomes glorious, but he never ever gives credit to his glory like that, because he is associated with the Lord, so all his activities also become glorious. But he should not think that I am the one who deserves name, fame. I'm the one who deserves glorification. He should not think like that. So what happens when we we develop this desire for name and fame, and how can we get rid of it? So we understood what is it in our initial slides. We understood that it is one of the subdivisions of bhajana kriya. We saw that bhajana kriya has there are two kinds of bhajana kriya, nishtita and anishtita. Nishtita means steady, anishtita means unsteady. And then from the anishtita bhajana kriya, there are six stages of anishtita bhajana kriya. So the amongst those six stages, the sixth one is desire for name and fame. We took references from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan Rahasya also, where he spoke about the four types of anarthas, where pratisthasa is one of the four types of anartha. And we also saw from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Madhurya Kadambini, where he speaks that this kind of anartha is the result of performing one's bhakti imperfectly. Now, in the subsequent slides, we will try to find out how can we get rid of this problem. How can we get rid of this big blunder that we make in our devotional life? So, we have to understand that When we are performing a devotional service, we have to keep certain things confidential. We have to keep certain things. We don't have to, like here we see revealing one's mind in confidence versus flag waving. The flag is for everyone to see. The confidential contents of our hearts is for just a few. So when we bhakti is Srila Prabhupada has given us this definition that bhakti means engaging in loving devotional service to the Lord, and we all have a personal, very intimate and personal relationship with Krishna, and it is not something that has to be advertised, that has to be publicized, because it is something very close to our heart. It is not something that has to go out just like a person goes out with a flag. We don't have to do that. Uh, we don't have to go to that extent of revealing our insight, our internal experiences, realizations in front of public. That is not meant for uh, such confidential subject matters as our realizations and our devotional services. But then here comes a contradiction where we see that according to the shastras, it is said that we should understand our spiritual master's mood. We should understand his mind, his mood, and we should be ready to serve him. And here it is said that we should not try to reveal our own confidential experiences and realizations. And then how can we? Then why are we going trying to develop that attitude of trying to read our spiritual master's mind? So that is one contradiction we can say, or one confusion we can say, which we will address in the subsequent slides. We should first, like, we should get more deep into this topic where I spoke about um, uh, doing bhakti, having realizations as one of the most confidential things. Another example, another analogy we can say is like the camphor. So this is one from one of the lectures of Amarendra Prabhu, and he had mentioned that true sadhus keep their prema bhakti in their heart like camphor, fully protected. Their hearts get scented more and more strong, and they don't allow it to come out and fade away. So what does this mean? Just like, so I have highlighted these points, fully protected. So whenever we have something very precious in our life, whenever we have something very valuable, we don't, we will never, if we have a diamond with us, we will never put the diamond in our living room. We will always keep it in our secret drawer, inside our closet, inside our wardrobe, or wherever people cannot see it. We will not keep it on our living room where anyone can come and take it away. And then, like the camphor, it's, if it's in a closed space, then what happens, the scent of the camphor, it grows more and more strong. And the moment the camphor is exposed in open environment, what happens, the scent fades away, and it fades away very quickly. So in the same way, prema bhakti is compared over here to camphor. Prema bhakti means loving devotional service to the Lord. It is compared to the camphor, and true sadhus, not the pseudo sadhus who advertise their realizations, who um, make people glorify them because they have this desire for name and fame. They are pseudo sadhus. But what is the difference between a pseudo sadhu and a true sadhu? A true sadhu is not like the pseudo sadhu. He is somebody who will keep his prema bhakti inside his heart, like a camphor. And when it's kept inside, what happens, the scent of the camphor, it becomes more and more strong, which means that his attachment to the Lord, it becomes more strong, it becomes stronger. And then he's not at the risk of uh, forgetting the Lord. The biggest destruction or the biggest disappointment in our life is Ramanand Rai. According to Ramanand Rai, he says that when Mahaprabhu asked him what is the biggest uh, what is the biggest destruction, he says the biggest destruction, the biggest worst thing that can happen is forgetfulness of Krishna. So, and a devotee, a true sadhu, he is very, very careful that he doesn't engage or indulge in anything that will make him forget the Lord. So that is why he doesn't go out and, like, he doesn't put the camphor out in the open environment. He keeps it protected. We have to remember that that camphor, if it's inside, it is strong and it is protected. So there are two keywords over here. First is protection, and the next second is strength. So when we keep, if we keep our devotional realizations, our devotional services, if we do proper bhakti, then this anartha cannot come up. This anartha, the desire for name and fame, cannot come up, because this comes up because of improper bhakti. Like we discussed in the initial slides, it comes because of improper bhakti. So we have to make the bhakti proper, and that proper bhakti is called tr- prema bhakti. That bhakti is not afflicted with this desire for name and fame, because we don't want that. We can also understand this with the example of Madhavendra Puri, where he went in the Kheer Chora Gopinath pastime, where he went to see the Lord, and then um, he had that desire that I should taste the I mean, desire. He had that desire that I should taste the offering of the. I mean, the kheer must be very tasty. But then he felt very bad that, oh, why did I think like that? I shouldn't have thought, because it's for the Lord. It's for the Lord's enjoyment. He felt very bad, and he went away from there. But the Lord, he loves his devotees. What the Lord did, when the pujari, when he was offering the kheer to him, he had hidden one pot at his back. And at night, he came to the dream of the pujari, and he told the pujari that there is one pot of kheer that I have hidden behind me. So you just go and give that to my devotee, where he wanted, but he went away feeling bad that he had this desire. So, and then what happened? He went there, and then the pujari, he gave that to him, and all the devotees and everybody, they got to know about it, and they became so respectful towards him, but he was not liking it at all. And he thought that, oh, this is not good, this is not good. This is the nature of a true sadhu. The true sadhu will not like that, because he wants the Lord to be glorified. He wants the Lord to be famous. He wants the people to adore the Lord, not him. So that is the nature of a true sadhu. The true sadhu will keep his prema bhakti in his heart like camphor, fully protected. The heart gets scented more and more strong, and they don't allow it to come out and fade away. So, like I was telling, that if we are to hide our realizations, then how can we understand the minds of our spiritual master? How can we understand what? Because we have to, if we do our services, if we are able to render good service to the to our spiritual master, then the Lord gets pleased. So are we not supposed to do that? Are we not supposed to try to understand the mood of our spiritual master? Is it wrong because we are trying to are we, like we can say, are we trying to make him feel uncomfortable? Is it something like that? So, in that sense, we can understand this with this example of like, there is a wealth, there is this material wealth in the picture on the left, and then Srila Prabhupada, he has the spiritual wealth. Spiritual wealth means he has Krishna. So, So that spiritual wealth, and this is material wealth. Just like in material wealth, we can understand a rich man's money, a rich man's net worth, we can say, by his number of cars, type of cars, by the house in which he is living, the type of that house, how big or small, something like that. So we can get an idea of his material wealth. So in the same way, by uh, by following the spiritual master, by looking at his, by glorifying him, by observing his uh, we can say his spiritual, I mean, we can get an idea of what he has. We can never get uh, the true, we can never have the glimpse, even the glimpse of that true spiritual wealth that he is having. But we should try to get an idea so that we can serve him. Like I can recall one incident, one pastime where His Holiness uh, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was sitting and Srila Prabhupada was there, and Srila Prabhupada, and there was the window, and sun rays were coming, and it was disturbing Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada didn't say, but uh, I mean, he had that in his mind. So Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he just did that. He pulled the curtains without even Prabhupada telling him. So he was, I mean, he was trying to figure out that, okay, Prabhupada wants me to do this. In the same way, with many times we can figure out, we can try to understand the mood of our spiritual master, but not we can never understand their deep realizations. We can never understand their intimate um, re- their intimate realizations with Krishna, in the sense. And we can also see this from these two pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, that when Srila Prabhupada, when Srila Prabhupada was singing Jai Radha Madhav, he fell into ecstasy chanting Jai Radha Madhav in Mayapur. The devotees later asked him about it, and he became very shy and simply said that does not happen very often. In that way, he avoided discussing the topic. He did not speak about that topic. And then another incident where similarly, once on a walk around Story Lake in San Francisco, a devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, "You must be feeling separation from your spiritual master." Srila Prabhupada became visibly annoyed and sternly replied, "That is not for you." So we see two reactions, I mean, response, we would say, two response of, not reaction, response of Srila Prabhupada. In the first, he just simply, he became very shy and he just said, oh, that doesn't happen very often. In this way, he just did not go and reveal everything to the person who was asking, to the devotee who was asking. And in the second incident, he became annoyed and he replied very sternly, that is not for you." So he said like this. So we see how Srila Prabhupada maintained his, like that camphor inside his heart. So he also had that camphor of prema bhakti. He also has that camphor of prema bhakti in his heart, and he keeps it protected, hidden, and so that it becomes more and more strong. So in the same way, if we are practicing bhakti, we have to understand that it's not something that has to be that has to go out in the public. We don't have to make any endeavors to do it ourselves, provided we are, I mean, the intention should be very, since the this anartha is so subtle, so we have to be very careful that our intention is not to get desire, to get that name and fame. If the intention is to inspire, if the intention is to um, do preaching through prachar, through acharan, through our behavior, then if it's benefiting people at large, then Krishna will make those arrangements. And since The Lord loves us so deeply. So he always wants his devotees to be glorified. And that is why he sends his pure devotees to this world. I can recall one more incident when Srila Prabhupada was asked by a devotee that Srila Prabhupada, why did your spiritual master did not, I mean, why Srila Prabhupada was the one who went out in the West and he preached, he made the people preached Hare Krishna Mahamantra far and wide. So when he was asked that why didn't your spiritual master do this, then Srila Prabhupada very humbly he smiled and he said that he actually wanted me to do it so that I am glorified. So he is not saying out of getting glorification, but he is saying because he's trying to convey that similarly the Lord is also very willing to make his devotees become famous, make his devotees become glorified. So if the Lord wants, then he will do that. But we should never ever have um, that desire for it's a very dangerous weed that can harm our advancement in spiritual life, that can make us uh, forget Krishna, that can make us go away from him. So so we have to keep it hidden, and that is good. We can, and there are, according to the Shastras, we should only reveal it to our spiritual master and to I mean, very handful of devotees who are very uh, like advanced in Krishna consciousness, or whom we can uh, have confidence on. They are very close to us, like only to them we can reveal. Otherwise, we should not. So this, if we start practicing this, then we don't get into that trap of desiring for name and fame. And then we can also conclude our discussion over here with this beautiful translation of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's thoughts in Prema Samputa, which is text number 68. It says, love's candle burns bright in lovers' hearts to set aglow those chambers' darkest parts. If one should bring it out the verbal door, pride's wind blows and it glows no more. So, what does this mean? This means that if a candle is burning and in our in the chambers of our hearts is it's very dark, but the candle of love for Krishna, it's burning over there. If we put out that candle, like if we put out a candle from a dark room, if we put it out, then the candle has the tendency, if there is a wind blowing, then the candle has the tendency to blow away, and then after it blows away, it is not glowing anymore. So in the same way, uh, our bhakti, what our realizations, it's like a candle which is burning in our hearts. We all are lovers over here, lovers of Krishna. So we have to keep this candle of love glowing inside the dark chambers of our heart. And we have to prevent it from pride. We have to prevent it from the desire for that name and fame, because this subtle desire comes out of the belief notion that okay, I am something. So it's a kind of a pride where the person thinks that I am something. You have to remember that I am nothing, I am insignificant. So when we start thinking that I am something, that pride develops, and then as soon as we get into that consciousness of me myself, and we forget Krishna, then that pride, the wind of that pride, it blows and it eventually it extinguishes the the candle of our love towards Krishna. And then what happens when the candle of our love blows away? It is glowing inside our hearts. The heart is illuminated with that glow. So at the moment it's blown away, the heart again becomes a dark place. So the light of love is no more over there. So we have to protect ourselves from this anartha. We have to remember, like we discussed, what is this anartha? How is this the cause? Then we try to understand through the examples which I gave. Then we also went through a few pastimes of the pure devotees of the Lord, and then we tried to figure out the solutions. Okay, there is this. We all are going through the process of anartha nivriti, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says that unless and until we get rid of these anarthas, we cannot move ahead in our life. The 9 stages of bhakti. So the anartha nivriti stage, sometimes it lasts for even one or more lifetimes. It is the longest stage where a devotee stays, and after one surpasses this stage, after one reaches nishtha, then the progress is very smooth. But here we get a lot of jerks, we get a lot of difficulties, we get a lot of obstructions. But steadily reading the scriptures, reading the pastimes, and remembering that I am a lover of Krishna and I have to keep the candle of my love glowing inside the dark chambers of my heart. I don't have to uh, expose it to my pride. I don't have to expose it because I'm scared that it will it will blow away and my heart will again become a dark place, and I will go far away from Krishna, which is a very dreadful situation for a devotee. We cannot afford to forget Krishna after understanding that he is everything. So that is the conclusion of my presentation on this topic, desire for name and fame. Thank you so much for hearing. If you have any questions or any comments, you can please share so that I can improve and I don't develop this desire for name and fame. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kulavati Krishna Priya. I loved your presentation. I like the references. I also like the way you were able to make it very practical. And it was quite heavy. But I guess the topic itself is such that we need to be a little bit serious about this, because this is like I was thinking of, when you were speaking, I remembered an analogy that seeking name and fame, especially within devotional life like that, it's like golden pot, and there is poison inside. So if we drink it, we are dead. So it look very attractive. It's like a nice golden cup vessel. But then inside that golden vessel is a poison, because it's going to harm us. It's going to make us mad. It makes us illusion. It makes us completely mad. So I was thinking of that analogy for your class, that you should have like a subtitle for your class title. Drinking
Yeah.
poison, golden cup. Name and desire for name and fame is like drinking poison in a gold cup.
Yeah. That's a very nice analogy. We don't, it's something so attractive, but it will take us. I mean, it is so dangerous drinking poison from the golden cup. Thank you so much for that.
Well, it's because of your class I had that analogy.
Yeah.
It's usually you who's giving analogies and giving things. Listening to your class, I got this analogy in my mind.
It becomes very clear with analogies. We can understand, we can figure out. Srila Prabhupada also gave so many analogies. Mm.
Yeah. Any other comments or feedback for Kulavati Krishna Priya?
Hare Krishna, Kulavati Mataji. It was excellent class. Very, very beautiful. Loved it. I
Hare
joined
Krishna.
late. Really, really. So many things went deep inside the heart. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Mataji.
Yeah, I also wanted to add like your presentation was so wonderful. The way you picked up from the different acharyas and you presented. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have actually experienced this because I have this tendency of desiring for name and fame. That is why I took up this topic so that I am able to get rid of this. And I have seen this antidote, I can say, whenever anyone appreciates or glorifies or anything, immediately you should say all glories to Srila Prabhupada or all glories to Guru Maharaj, like immediately. And then I don't get that tendency of getting, oh, the person is appreciating me. I did so nice. And I'm very grateful for all these references I took from various sources. I took from Amarendra Prabhu. I took from His Grace Madhavananda Prabhu. He is one of the many devotees whom I follow like very deeply, Madhavananda Prabhu. So all those devotees made me prepared for this class, and it was a very good exercise, very good experience for me, because when I was preparing, I was scrolling on my Facebook feeds, and I came across references like this. Seems like Krishna helped me, Guru Maharaj helped me so much prepare. And I came across these references, and then I just took it, tried to put it in the form of a presentation. So, all glories to all those devotees, glories to all of you, Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Please pray that I don't develop this desire for name and fame, because I usually get into that trap, to be honest.
I really like the way you said that, When somebody says it, just give it off. Pass the glory back to the Guru Parampara. I've seen some devotees do it so authentically, so naturally, because they've just kept that in their heart very deep. And I see how nicely they're progressing in their bhakti. Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
fine. Reminding it for us.
That's something which I started doing, because initially when I came into Krishna consciousness, very quickly I could memorize the shlokas. Like very quickly I could. It was just like as if, and then people used to say that you are. How come you are doing it so I feel you are in bhakti since so many years. So I had that tendency. Then immediately I got this formula. Immediately, if anybody says, I will say, "Oh, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Jai," and then I would just go away from that place. And there is a devotee who also said that if somebody glorifies you, you should glorify that person back, that devotee back to this. If he or she says you did some so nice, then immediately you should say, oh yes, that day when I was hearing, immediately you should glorify him or her back. And that devotee was telling me that if it's with seniors or with your um, if the seniors are I mean, he was saying if your friends are glorifying you, you should glorify them back. And if you have your students, or if they are glorifying you, you should immediately transfer it to all glories to I mean, to the spiritual master. He was saying like that. So these are like ways and means to avoid the trap of desire for name and fame.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Okay. So thank you. Any other comments or any other feedback so that I can improve? Okay, then we can end the class over here. Thank you so much for attending and for coming and for giving me the opportunity to serve all of you. So I would like to say the Vaishnav Pranam mantra. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.